we can have the children elaborate by imagining, at the Getting Knowledge Ready, imagining the situation to be different. And we can have them evaluate. What do they know about the ideas already? What additional information do they need before they begin to read? Are you with me with this? So I wanted you all to be able to, have an awareness of where what we're doing fits with the current, the current approach to instruction. And so we can look at that as well in relation to learning vocabulary. And then I've also done it with paraphrasing. Could we just look at one other aspect of the professional learning before we finish? All that we're talking about here is actually based on a plan. And it's based on a model that I've got in my head about how we actually go about embedding this. And at one moment, I actually tried to imagine how we draw a picture of all that I'm talking about happening. And I've tried to do that in today's notes on page 10. Now, I'd like to take you through this because I wanted some way of getting above the detail, getting above the minutiae, and trying to see the overall pattern that I'm presenting. I mean, for most of today, we focused on the professional learning aspect because the only way we're going to change practice in schools is through, we as teachers, fine-tuning what we're doing. We're needing to learn new things. And this was what I was trying to capture here. Now, we throw around a whole lot of roles. There are all sorts of roles and functions in a school. I was, I guess, arrogant enough to try to reduce these down to some boxes. And the central box is you along here. That's the focus. And if I'd been able to do that in a separate colour, and I know there will be ways of doing it, and I can't do it, but there will be ways of doing it, I would have had that in a separate colour. And so if I was talking about a timeline, I wanted something that was real, in time. What would I be doing if I was in your position? What would I be doing? I'd be unpacking my goals. I'd be attempting to think of the teaching I'm going to be using. I'd be putting it in place. I'd look at the options I had. I'd be doing it, seeing, reflecting on it, and I'd be then planning where I'm going to go next. That would be my spread of activities for the term, in terms of the high reliability strategies. However, all the way along, I'm going to be doing other things. And this, what I'm trying to show here, is the 4 strands that I've talked about earlier. But I'm trying to now show where they interact. I'm wanting to say that when I've decided my goals, I am really keen to draw in the school leadership team. I want to share my goals with members of the leadership team so they can provide me with some instructional leadership. So they as well can take ownership on behalf of the schools, on behalf of the school. If I have a small group of teachers with whom I'm sharing the ideas, I'm going to interact with them. I want them to evaluate the ideas that I'm putting up. And I'm wanting them to say, hey, what about this, and so on. And then I'm going to be taking up I'm going to be presenting my goals at 5 minutes or less in a staff meeting. And this isn't an interaction. This is me telling. This is what I intend to do. I've done these things. Now I'm going to, this is what we're planning to do over term 3. This is my work on behalf of the school in term 3. Then it might mean that I need a coach to come in and model it. So you can see the coach is coming into my room. I'm going to need to discuss, perhaps 2 weeks later, I'll meet with this team of people and we'll discuss it. I've seen the coach do it. Now I've thought it through, I'm going to share it with other people. And then I'm going to let the school know at the staff meeting in 4 weeks' time what the actions are going to be, what my teaching actions are. I've got the groups, I've got the leadership, perhaps evaluating my proposed outcome. I've got the coach, I've discussed it. After I saw the coach doing it, I changed what I was doing. I've discussed it with the coach. I now do it. It may be that a member of the school leadership team wants to spend time in my room and be there while I'm doing part of it, just to be involved in it, to see what the literacy stuff looks like. I'm going to feed back the progress at the staff level meeting. I'm going to, after I've reflected on it, I'm going to feed back to the professional learning team, to the school leadership team. I want them to know that shouldn't be PLT, that should be SLT. I want to feed back to the school leadership team what I've done. And I also want to draw out, at that point, with the coach, what the implications for coaching are in the school. What does it mean for how that happened? And I'm wanting to give feedback to the school and so on. Does that plan make sense?